Hey guys, and welcome back to the Flake Files. I'm going to do a continuation of last week's Ichthyosis Monday, where I talked about my pregnancies with each of my children and kind of how it related to my ichthyosis. I'll leave that up here. I never remember which way. Anyways, but today I wanted to talk about my deliveries. And it's actually funny that I'm making this because the doctor who delivered both of my babies passed away yesterday. He was an older guy and he had like heart problems. So so my delivery with Sadie, we decided to have, me and my doctor and my husband decided to have a C-section just because the chance of her having it was 50% chance. And like I said before, the birth canal is really hard on the skin. So we opted to do a C-section. And so we scheduled my C-section and I went in and they did everything. The anesthesiologist came in and talked to us and said that he was pretty much going to have to scrape off the top layer of skin before inserting the spinal anesthesia. I don't know. Block. Is that right? The spinal block. That was to prevent any bacteria that might be on my skin because I do have a higher chance of skin infection from being pushed into my spine and going to my brain. So they did that. I was terrified. I was good my whole entire pregnancy. I was like, all right, well, this baby's got to come out somehow. This is how we're doing it. But when they wheeled me back there, I lost it. I was hyperventilating. I was crying, everything like that. But obviously it ended up being okay. The surgery itself went well. He was telling me during the surgery, after they got her out, and we found out she did not have ichthyosis. But he was telling me while he was closing me up that stitches and staples were not holding in my skin. My skin would just pull apart and they would bust through. So he decided to do steri strips, and that was it. He just did a ton of steri strips across the entire thing, and that was fine. Then with my son, we decided the same thing. I had my daughter at 37 weeks and 5 days. He didn't really want me going past 38 weeks, and they were both approaching the 8-pound mark, and he did not want me carrying anything over 8 pounds because of how small I was, and then, my skin stretching and everything. So then I got pregnant again, and we decided to do a C-section again. I went in at 37 weeks and 4 days for my C-section. I had him at a different hospital. Everything went much smoother. And if y'all are wanting to know what they used, this is a very popular question amongst ichthyosis people because adhesive either doesn't stick or it sticks too well because of the lotions. And with my daughter, they used some mesh thing, it kind of looks like what they put on those pears. That you get, and they slipped it over my hand and then they cut a thumb hole out to keep the IV in place. And then with my daughter, I ended up having two. I had one in each hand, so they put a glove on both hands. And then with my son, they had no idea what I was talking about, and I don't think they even had that. So in pre-op, when they were putting the fluids and everything, they used the belt for the heart rate and contraction monitor. They just used the belt for that and tied it around my hand. And then later on, that didn't stay, so later on they ended up just using gauze and tape and held it down. With both of my children, they gave me antibiotics beforehand. Also, I asked for no morphine. I'm not sure what they gave me, but before I was even moved from the operating table onto the actual table, I could already feel my legs. I didn't have like the standard narcotic given to me during my C-section, mainly because most of those have a strong side effect of itching, and I did not want to like scratch too much, and because my skin is more delicate, and bleed and then potentially get an infection. Especially being in a hospital, you know, your chances of staph and MRSA are higher. So I'll just ask for no morphine. I'm not sure what they gave me, but after both of them, while in recovery, they gave me pain medicine in my IV just to help prevent skin infection in the actual site. And then I am allergic to sea chlor, so they had to change whatever, like, I don't know what it was, whatever, like, the instruments were soaked in or something, whatever, like, antibiotic solution they used. Anyway, so my C-section with him went well. I felt more, like, out of body with him. I don't know if they gave me, I told them beforehand that I was very nervous of throwing up on the table, and that I had pretty much a panic attack during my first one, so I think they might have given me a lot of like Zofran and something to calm me. But it felt like I was in like a hammock the entire time, and they had me leaning more than they did the first time. But anyways, so he came out, and he did have ichthyosis. He did have to be put under warmers, so I was not able to like have him skin to skin like was an option during the C-section, which it was not with Sadie. I was able to have a clear drape and do skin to skin, but because of his temp regulation, I wasn't able to do skin to skin. And then they had to nicked some kind of artery or something around my uterus, so they had to, I'm not sure what they had to do, but they had to do more stitches inside or something. And so then whenever they were closing, they wanted to do more than steri strips. I'm not sure. So they put in like 4 or 5 staples. They just kind of did a few instead of stapling the entire thing. And then they put a pad against it. And then while I was still laying there, or whenever they transferred me off of the operating table onto the bed, they had me lay on a belly binder, and then they binded my stomach to keep that pad in place to keep the incision closed. But that was pretty much it. Everything went well as far as that goes. I'll go ahead and talk about recovery here, and then I'll just do a separate video for breastfeeding. So thank you so much for watching, and make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to see more ichthyosis videos. I also do grocery hauls and cleaning videos and mom videos. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye guys.